paranoia-filled days later.
She's here. She's here. We're driving down the boulevard, cruising with the windows down, feeling like we run this town. Your song is on the radio, the one you always like, the one that always gets you psyched. We've been drinking all the cheap wine all night, acting stupid but it feels so right. I know that we will all be just fine, but tonight I just wanna dance it off. Ignore the world with me tonight. Wanna dance it off. Put your body next to mine. Can't get the smile. Officially made it to Oregon. Just crossed the border from Nevada. This part of Oregon, unsurprisingly, looks an awful lot like northern Nevada since I only just crossed over. But 4 more hours on the road today, give or take. And then I'm putting the 12-hour road trip days behind me for a little while at least. That's a lot of driving in one day. Multiple days in a row. But made it out to Oregon, which was my initial goal. And heading to Crater Lake, and then we'll see. Hopefully between now and then they'll find a bathroom, because there are not very many rest stops in northern Nevada. Anyway, I'm stoked, and the car's done beautifully, and there's a lot of bugs on my windshield, so many miles accumulated. Right onward. Ignore the world with me tonight. Wanna dance it off. Put your body next to mine. Just wanna dance it off. Ignore the world with me tonight. Well, we made it. We made it. Not only to Crater Lake, but a campground just outside the park on the river with availability. And some people around, but not a lot of people around. So that makes me feel good for my first night camping with Blue here. Jury's still out on the name, but I'm using my GoPro, so I didn't feel like getting my big camera out, but I thought I'd show you the river. I don't know what river this is. I'll have to look it up. I doubt you can hear me, but come on, look at this. Okay, I'm starting to set up. I don't know if this is gonna work at all. And I'm like, I should be showing this. So I have my weather tech. What do we call these? Weather tech. Oh, I have to put the permit on the outside. Window covering? I'm sure they have a technical term, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's just. Does that work? Anyway, I'm just putting them in the front. Are we having fun here? So the windshield and the driver and passenger front seat, and then I'll show you what I did with the back. But here you can see this is mostly for privacy, because the road to the campsite is right there, and people walk by to go to the bathroom and stuff.
So I'm gonna finish that and then I'll show you what I did to it back. So this is my first time using these things. What do we call these? Like screens for the windows. So I just cracked the windows, but I've actually put the back window down for, I'm probably gonna put it down all the way, to be honest, because if I was out in a tent, it would just be me in a tent, so how's this any different? But I put a piece of netting over the back of the car with magnets. Here, but you can see, like, I've done these two windows, and they kind of add a little privacy because they're a bit tinted. But here you can see my pièce de résistance here. So this is just a mosquito netting I got from the hardware store. I actually used this in my minivan when I went car camping over the moonroof. So it's sized to fit there. And I just have it attached to the back with magnets, and I think my hope is I can still open the door to get in stuff. Oh, I can. Okay, good. And it didn't totally come apart. Okay, I think I'm gonna open that window all the way. But I'm just getting myself set up. I'm gonna have I'm gonna make a meal. I'm gonna have a full meal in a long time, I feel like. And get a little bit organized before it gets dark, and then I'm gonna pack it in pretty early. But I'm gonna go change right now, and by go change I mean change in the back of my car. Fun times. Okay. Almost in frame. That's a miracle. So, it's really loud with the river, but we're just gonna have to make do because I like the river, so we're not getting rid of that. What have I got here? This is my trash can. This just has to go away because I washed it. Mosquito wipes that I'm gonna put on part of the bed. So, for dinner tonight and possibly for the next several nights, I have sausage and fancying it up with brioche. And then I've got, for vegetables, carrots, and extra protein, I've got hummus. I'm very hungry. I'm very proud of myself for remembering to bring some Ziploc bags and scissors. Because otherwise, I guess I could use my knife to open the sausage, but okay, so I've got my Eureka stove. Now the trick is remembering how to use the stove. Well, that wasn't what I expected to happen because I didn't connect it. Details. This is not going to be interesting, so I'm going to get this all set up and then I'll give you a look-see at what I'm cooking. I got it on, so, you know, I can remember things sometimes. I forgot to bring mustard, but I did remember to bring olive oil, which I've taken to carrying from home because I don't want it to go bad. So, you know, when I'm not using the vehicle. Okay, here's the gourmet meal. This is like the appetizer version, or part of the meal. Obviously, make good work of that. And then this sausage really is massive. I'll say it again. Here, I said it. And that's gonna do it. And I get to look at this while I eat. It's not elaborate, but it's food, and I am grateful. So I'm trying to get my toiletry situation organized because this is my first night doing this, and I have different bags for different things. Like this is if I'm going to be showering, and I just want to keep this just showering stuff. But it also happens to have some other things in it too. So I'm not sure what to do. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get organized and figure out what's gonna work, because I really don't know. But here I am showing you what I'm doing today. That's helpful. But here's what I'm doing today. So I have these wipes from Burt's Bees. I don't have makeup on, but it seems like I've never tried these before. They seemed nice, just from the packaging. Totally bought into the packaging, so let's try them. They smell awful, but I bought them, so I'm gonna use them. Oh, my face is dirty. I could like get the water out and wash my face and somehow. I'm realizing I need some sort of like collapsible sink. But also, can I just use wipes like a few days and that's fine? I think so. Oh yeah, behind the ears. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm gonna put on my eye cream and my like usual, just like basic skincare, so my face doesn't fall off, because you know, it could. I use Moon and Rock, but they've renamed their company to Atone. But I've used and loved their products for years. This is hyaluronic acid serum, and then I have the oil. I'm just going to let that set for a second. Well, it would be helpful to have a flat surface. I'm a little bit on, just realizing I'm parked a little bit on an incline. I might have to move my car up just a little bit. I tried to find the flattest space because that's important. For brushing the teeth, I got one of these little Quip toothbrushes because it's kind of like using an electric toothbrush, even though it's not at all. And there's people staring at me. That's the only problem with the like actual campsite is there are other people and they watch you doing the things that you're doing, which is really fun when you're a YouTuber and don't like people noticing you. Nice choice of career. Okay. This is obviously critically important, but I think, at least for now, I figured it out. Shower kit. Won't use that very often, obviously. But that, then it's all in one, right? All shower stuff. General toiletry bag. Toothbrush, toothpaste, some face stuff, some hair clip, things like that. Vitamins, supplements, prescriptions. And I want to keep this actually in my cooler, just to make sure, like at the top of it, not like down by the ice, just to make sure everything stays good, because I've got like omega-3s and things like that that could spoil. So, figured that out. Thought I'd let you know. Now I'm all done getting ready. It's like 7, but I am so tired. I think I'm going to kind of put everything away, use the restroom one last time, and then tuck in. And I have some stuff downloaded on my iPad. I might just like watch my iPad in my car bed. This is all very interesting. Newness. I put these lights on to show you kind of the situation for the first night when I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm on a bit of slant and there's nothing I can do about it. But I had to pull my jackery up so I could plug things in. Mainly just my phone and watch to charge, and this fan, this little fan. I had this in my minivan too. But so that's USB, and that's pretty sweet. I think it's gonna be real nice. Pretty well set up. I opened the whole window, and then of course somebody pulled up to camp, but it's fine. But it's all covered with the screen, which is great. I'm not going to go to sleep like immediately, but I am pretty tired. I did want to talk to you for a minute before I kind of wind down here. Just sitting in my car with spooky lighting, making a video. Nothing odd about that at all. Nothing odd. I'm joking. I'm having the best time. I don't care if people think it's weird. I'm like having the best time. I really wish they weren't people like right there, but this is what I get for picking an established campground and not wild camping. I do want to wild camp on this trip. It's like one of my goals is to give it a try, as long as it feels comfortable in that moment. But for the first night, I could have. There was like a lot of wild camping around here, around Crater Lake, but when I saw this campsite so close to Crater Lake, and I was like, you know what, the first night I've been driving for 12 hours. I think let's just go somewhere that feels relatively familiar, because I've done this kind of camping before, and has a toilet at least. I mean, I don't mind going in the bathroom in the woods at all, but it is a nice addition. And has people around. So I'm like getting my bearings. I'm still like organizing the truck, figuring out what works for me. It's nice to have like a level place, more or less level, to put the car and to just kind of like sort things out. And a picnic table to get my food prepared on and all that jazz. It's like better if I turn this off. I put it on for, no, we need it. It's like the key light. I don't actually know any technical videography terms, so I don't know if that was a real thing or not. Anyway, I didn't have a chance to talk you through the drive out west. Because honestly, it did not, the drive itself went fine. The truck drove beautifully, it handled it. I can't remember how many miles it is, like 1,700 or something. It's a lot. I'll write it in, I guess. I did it in 2 chunks. I was originally planning on doing it in 1, but I hit the road leaving my hometown in the Chicagoland area, and I felt fine. I felt fine. And I started driving, and it was going really well, and kind of like 5-6 hours in, I started to feel not so great. And I very rapidly from that point on felt less and less great, and I started getting like really hot, like I had a fever. I can't remember the last time I've had a fever. I just was not well. But I pushed through. I did a full 12-hour day, and I was already so far away from home. I was like, well, there's no real point in going back. And I got myself a hotel room for that night because I was like, I need air conditioning. I don't know why I'm sweating so much. Turns out I had a fever. It was a very low-grade fever, but it was still a fever nonetheless. And I'll just try to push through, at least get to Salt Lake in the next day, and then I know I can leave the car there. I'm super familiar with that airport. I'll feel good about leaving it there, and I can come home and I can finish the last leg the next trip. And so that's what I did. I was really not well. I tested negative for COVID. You know, I always fly with a mask anyway, but I flew with my mask on, and I just like huddled in the corner I had a window seat, and it was only like a 2-seater, so I just kind of like, I actually slept the way home, but I huddled in the corner kind of like this, just to breathe on anybody. But turns out I didn't have COVID, and I ended up going to a doctor eventually because I was not getting better, and they put me on amoxicillin, and I'm doing better now. I'm still like a little under the weather, but I'm doing much better now. This is like 2 weeks ago, right? It's been 2 weeks since then. It's just, I'm still on the amoxicillin. It's a really long course, but it was a really nasty bug. Just a couple days of that fever, and then just like sick, you know, like respiratory sickness. That first leg of the trip, I didn't film very much because I felt like absolute garbage. And I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I was just trying to like push through it. I'd already gone too far to turn back by the time I realized I was like really not well. You know, it worked out just fine. I left the car in Salt Lake. It meant I could stop and pick up some things, and also drive through my favorite mountains that mean a lot to me, that I've spent so many years visiting. So that was lovely too. And then this leg of the trip, you know, I did all in one day. When I looked at the map this morning before I left at 6 a.m. Mountain time. It said it would take 11 hours and 39 minutes. No, if that's without stops, right? I made it here in 12 hours with stops. I think I stopped 3 times to get gas, and at 1 rest stop. So I stopped 4 or 5 times. But all cumulatively, I only stopped for 20 minutes for the whole day. So I'm very proud of myself for pushing through. I knew that you could take the scenic route. There's a lot more interesting routes to go. I took the most straightforward route. That was mostly on 80 West, and it was just long. But once I crossed over into Oregon, I mean, it's still interesting, right? I think landscape is interesting in all its forms, but it's just different. And I'm partial to mountains and forests. So once I crossed over into Oregon and kind of got deeper into the state and started getting into the forest, that's when I started to get really, really excited. And I feel really good. It was a long day, but I feel really good. I feel full in a pleasant way. I'm going to do some journaling and maybe some reading. I don't even want to like look at a screen. I think I've just been staring at the road for so long that my eyes are tired. I might just go to bed. It's still like bright out for another like hour and a half. But I'm so tired. I wonder if I'd fall asleep. Anyway, that was my first, well, this is my first night. So it's not over yet. It's not over yet. This is my first night sleeping in blue. I'll let you know how it went in the morning. And yeah, it's a really nice temperature. It's like in the low 70s right now, so I think, and there's a little breeze coming in off the river, and with the fan on, I think I'll be good. But it's fun sharing this with you. I feel very free. I miss my babies a lot, but they're having a grand old time on their summer vacation with their dad, so I'm happy for them, and I can't wait when I'm back and we're together again and we have our summer vacation time together. But this is the best way I know how to distract myself from my heart breaking without my children. So this is what I do, and this works for me now, and it brings me joy, and it brings me peace, and I am excited to try new things. So, okay, enough rambling. I'm gonna, oh, a magnet. I was wondering where that one went. I'm gonna journal some things and go to bed. So, like I said, I'll report in the morning how things went. But, yeah, okay. Good night. I don't know how to end this. This is what happens when you go to bed at 8 o'clock. But I slept real good. So here's the scene. I've got my tea made successfully inside the car. I would make it outside, but I didn't want to disturb. There's people in the campsites like right around me. It's really early. I didn't want to bug anybody, so I'm just camped out in my car. I've got my clothes laid out for the day. I'm gonna change in a minute. I've got my favorite camping lanterns that I've had for a year now. They charge via solar, also via USB, but I just have them hanging on the hooks in the car. Provides a lot of good lighting. I've got my gear out so I can figure out what cameras I'm bringing today. There's no service here, so I need to move soon to a place with service so I can figure out what I'm doing. Oh, it's not. This is not going to be flattering footage. I haven't like done anything to myself. Not that I'm going to do much, but I'll probably at least brush my hair and my teeth. Anyway, I slept like a rock. That was the best night's sleep I've had in a long time. Sometimes it takes me like a day or two to get adjusted to sleeping outside, like inside, outside. I have the window all the way open, so, but, then I usually sleep really well when I'm camping, and I slept so well. I was also really tired, but bed is super comfortable, and the setup seems pretty good. This is gonna be a trial and error kind of thing, and like make adjustments as you go. I'm already thinking like, is that where I want to have my Jackery? Because I have to pull it up every time I want to use it, but it's also nicely secured and kind of insulated underneath the mattress for when I'm not in the car. So just little things like that, but I was pleased I was able to successfully make a cup of tea in the car this morning, which means I don't think I would like make anything with an open flame in the car because that doesn't seem safe. I've seen other people do it on YouTube. Use like a little, like a jet boil or something in the car. I don't know. I'd have to be pretty desperate and all the windows open. But the little electric kettle to get hot water, then I can make tea. I can make a cup of soup. I can make instant oatmeal. You know, like there's options I can make if I'm in my car and I feel like I can't get out and get out the whole stove and everything. So that's good. Oh, also, I haven't charged my Jackery since I was home, and I'm still at 90%. So that's good. I haven't had to charge it yet. I'm gonna charge it while I'm driving, mostly. Or like when I get to an Airbnb, whenever that may be, I would take it in and plug it in there. I do have the solar panels for it, but I left them at home because I couldn't really fit them in the car the way this is set up, and I didn't know if I'd really need them based on the amount of times that I'm like out in the world. So again, that's something I can add to the car, to the truck later if I want, because I do have them. But I think I'm gonna drink my tea and change, and then when it's just a little bit light later, I'll leave. I just don't want to like turn the car on and wake everybody up. You have to be considerate camper. But I think it's almost 5 now, is it? Oh, it's 5:35. I've been up for a while. Anyway, that is that. And I'm gonna head to Crater Lake. So I think I'm gonna wrap this video here, and then start a new one for the rest of the adventure. But I would say that my first night in the car, sleeping in the truck, went really, really well. I felt very comfortable and secure. Now, of course, I am in like an established campground in a very popular place. The Crater Lake is very well known. But, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And that's where I felt comfortable starting. So we'll see what the rest of the journey brings. I'm sure there'll be a wide breadth of experiences. But this was a really beautiful way to kick off the actual like camping portion of my adventure, because the river was like a nice sound machine and it's perfect temperature. It was like 72 when I went to sleep, and when I woke up it was 55. So it's like ideal. And I don't think I got consumed by mosquitoes, so that's also ideal. And I love my little setup. But like I said, I'm sure there will be adjustments made along the way, and I will share those with you. And stay tuned for continuation of the Pacific Northwest adventure. Alright, I'll see you soon. Take very good care.